Wake up. Don't waste time. Welcome to Live Stoic, Live Strong. Have you ever reached the end of your day and wondered, where did all my time go? What if the way you spend your time today is quietly shaping your entire future without you even noticing? And here's a powerful truth. Every moment you waste on someone else's drama is a moment stolen from your own greatness. Let me ask you something personal. How much do you truly value your time? Think back. Are there moments in your past you now wish you had spent differently? The truth is simple, yet profound. Every single moment of life is priceless. Each day we are gifted just 24 hours, not a second more. Time moves forward and never looks back. And every choice you make, every yes, every no, silently shapes your reality. If you find yourself constantly entangled in the lives of others, if you're always absorbed in their problems, their pain, their chaos, then maybe, just maybe, you're ignoring the most important person in your life. You. You see, your time is not just valuable, it is the most precious thing you own. Once it's gone, there is no refund, no rewind. It disappears into the past, taking your potential along with it. Marcus Aurelius, one of Stoicism's greatest minds, once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This timeless wisdom holds a powerful message. You cannot control the world around you, but you can master the world within you. So the question becomes, why waste energy on what you cannot change, when that same energy could transform your life from the inside out? Today, I invite you to go on a journey with me, a path that leads to clarity, peace, and true self-growth. We'll explore 6 timeless Stoic principles that will help you stop giving away your time and start focusing on what truly matters, you. But before we dive into the first principle, I want you to pause for a second. Type in the comments, "I focus on myself and stop wasting my time." Let that be your commitment, your first step toward reclaiming your power. Let's begin with the first principle, the hidden dangers of comparison. We live in a world saturated with images of so-called success. Flawless beauty, wealth, fame, and perfect lives curated for social media. But here's the truth behind the screen. These are illusions, crafted carefully to spark envy, to provoke comparison, and to distract us from our own journey. And that distraction comes at a cost. Marcus Aurelius gave us a powerful reminder. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. It's not about chasing someone else's definition of success. It's about turning inward. Asking yourself, what does my best life look like? Comparison is a subtle thief. It sneaks in quietly. A scroll here, a glance there. But every moment spent measuring your life against someone else's highlight reel is a moment lost to your own progress. Instead of reflecting on how far you've come or where you want to go, your energy is drained, redirected toward ideals that don't even belong to you. In that moment, you stop living for yourself. You live in reaction, not in intention. Time, your most irreplaceable asset, is lost not only in action but in thought. The mental space you give to envy, to doubt, to wishing you were someone else, that space could be used to grow, to create, to heal, to build something extraordinary. So the next time you feel the pull to compare, stop and ask yourself, is this helping me become the person I want to be, or taking me further away? Because in the end, the only life you can truly live is your own. Now that we've uncovered the hidden cost of comparison, let's continue this journey. In the next part, we'll explore the second Stoic principle, and it just might change the way you handle every challenge life throws your way. In the last section, we uncovered how comparison quietly steals our focus and distracts us from the life we're meant to live. Now let's take the next step by turning inward, But true growth, real, lasting transformation, is something entirely different. It's not measured by flashy symbols like wealth, status, or public praise. It's not about how others perceive you, but how well you know and commit to becoming the best version of yourself. This is a deeply personal journey, one that no one else can walk for you. Unlike the fleeting perfection we see plastered across social media, genuine progress doesn't come overnight. It takes root in moments of stillness, honesty, and daily effort. It's born from consistent improvement and from a courageous willingness to be self-aware. And that's where it all begins, self-awareness. Because if you don't truly understand yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses, your triggers, your blind spots, how can you possibly grow? How can you overcome challenges if you don't know what tools you already have and what tools you still need? Imagine trying to build a house with no blueprint, no materials, and no idea where the foundation begins. That's what life is like without self-awareness, effort without direction. The Stoic philosophers knew this truth well. They believed that self-knowledge wasn't just useful. It was essential to living a life of purpose, ethics, and fulfillment. Epictetus, one of Stoicism's most respected voices, once said, "Know first who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly." In other words, understand yourself first, and then shape your life from that truth, not the other way around. Once you cultivate that awareness, the next step becomes clear. Set goals, not grand, overwhelming ones, but real, tangible, attainable steps that match your current abilities and push you gently toward your potential. Self-improvement isn't about trying to conquer the world overnight. It's about building, slowly but steadily, day by day. Think of it like stacking small stones. With each one, the structure grows stronger, more solid. That's the quiet power of setting small, consistent goals. Take Oprah Winfrey, for example. Her story is a powerful reminder of what's possible when you focus on yourself, rather than trying to imitate others. In the early 1980s, Oprah was far from a household name. She wasn't given a warm welcome into the television world. She faced rejection. She faced doubt. She faced countless people who didn't believe in her. But instead of measuring herself against other hosts or popular shows at the time, she did something different. She focused inward. She listened to her own voice, honed her unique style, and worked relentlessly on improving her craft. Day by day, she connected more deeply with her audience. She transformed her show into something that wasn't just entertainment. It became a space for reflection, inspiration, and spiritual growth. And in doing so, The Oprah Winfrey Show didn't just succeed. It changed the very landscape of television. Her journey proves a vital truth. When you invest in yourself, when you stay grounded in your own path, comparison becomes irrelevant. You become your own measure. Each goal you reach, no matter how small, becomes a win. Not just on paper, but in your spirit. Every small success proves that growth is real, that change is possible, that you are capable. These victories, stacked one on top of the other, create momentum, confidence, independence, and slowly but surely, something beautiful happens. You no longer feel the urge to look sideways, because you're too busy moving forward. But here's the thing. Comparison doesn't just distract us. It can derail us in deeper, more dangerous ways. In the next section, we'll uncover how comparison, if left unchecked, can quietly erode not just our focus, but our identity. Stay with me. As we saw before, staying focused on your own path builds confidence. and comparison fades when you're too busy growing. But there's a deeper danger we must face. When we constantly measure ourselves against others, something quiet but destructive begins to grow inside us. Feelings of inadequacy, insecurity, and low self-worth. We begin to question our own progress, our value, even our identity. But here's the truth. When you choose to refocus on your journey, everything begins to change. You take back control, not just over your direction, but over your emotions, your mindset, your self-esteem. You no longer chase applause. You don't need validation. Why? Because your confidence doesn't depend on what others think. It grows from within. And the most powerful reward? It's not in outshining someone else. It's in becoming the most authentic, capable, and fulfilled version of yourself. So let me ask you, how much time did you lose today watching someone else's success? How many precious moments slipped through your fingers while wishing your life looked different? Marcus Aurelius gave us a timeless reminder. The key to living a meaningful life isn't found in chasing fleeting ideals crafted by others. It lies in something much more personal, developing your own character. It's time to stop comparing, to stop throwing away the limited, precious hours you've been given, and to redirect all that energy toward the most important project you will ever undertake, you. Now let's move to the second Stoic principle. Embrace progress, not perfection. It's so easy to fall into the trap of chasing some flawless version of ourselves or our work. We imagine that everything must be perfect before we start, before we speak up, before we take a leap. But that illusion of perfection, it quietly creates pressure, and that pressure paralyzes progress. Stoic philosophy, especially as taught by Marcus Aurelius, reminds us, progress, not perfection, is the path to peace, resilience, and long-term success. Because life is not a polished performance. It's a process, a series of imperfect steps. And the moment we accept that truth, we unlock the power of movement, even if that movement is small. The very first step toward true progress is learning how to face negativity, both the kind that comes from the outside world and the kind that whispers within us. Maybe your work environment is filled with doubt, complaints, or unresolved tensions. Maybe your day is shaped by criticism, tough meetings, or moments of rejection. But here's the key. You don't have to let those moments control your mind. Let's say you're in a meeting and someone's words sting. Your first instinct might be to react, to defend, argue, or shut down. But instead, what if you chose silence? Not out of fear, not out of surrender, but out of strength. Silence, when chosen with intention, becomes a form of power. It allows you to stay calm, to protect your peace, and to focus on the positive. This ability to detach from negativity is not weakness. It's wisdom. And this wisdom applies just as much to the inner voice as it does to the outer world. Because often, the most damaging negativity doesn't come from others. It comes from you. The quiet thoughts like, I'm not good enough, I'll fail, I can't do this. These invisible narratives hold you back more than any outside criticism ever could. But what if, instead of saying, I can't, you said, I'm still learning? What if, instead of fearing failure, you embraced it as part of progress? This mental shift rewires your confidence. It opens space for effort, courage, and self-belief. And just as important as mindset is learning to let go. We all carry burdens, regrets, past mistakes, pain we haven't healed. But dragging that emotional weight into each new day, only slows you down. Forgiveness is not about excusing what was wrong. It's about freeing yourself. Because only when your hands are empty of the past can they be open to the future. And to sustain progress over time, you need to build the kind of habits that nourish your soul. Surround yourself with people who lift you up. Choose activities that spark inspiration. And gradually, these daily choices become the scaffolding of a stronger, happier, more resilient you. But there's one more obstacle we must confront: the hidden weight of emotions we often suppress. In the next section, we'll explore how to face our feelings the Stoic way, and why emotional mastery is essential to becoming truly free. Earlier, we explored the power of persistence and how embracing progress, not perfection, helps us grow. Now let's go one step further and look at how gratitude, discipline, and time management become the fuel for that progress. And through it all, one thing must never be forgotten: gratitude. Even in the darkest of times, even when the road feels uncertain or unfair, gratitude has the power to shift your mindset and carry you through. A perfect example of this is J.K. Rowling, the beloved author behind the Harry Potter series. Before the fame, before the global success, Rowling faced hardship after hardship. She was living in poverty, struggling with unemployment, rejected by multiple publishers who couldn't see the magic in her work. But here's what makes her story extraordinary. She didn't drown in bitterness. She didn't let rejection define her. Instead, she kept writing, day after day, line after line, nurturing a positive habit fueled by self-belief and quiet determination. More than that, Rowling made space for gratitude. Even when life gave her little to celebrate, she was thankful for the smallest opportunities, for every lesson tucked inside those difficult moments. And that mindset, the combination of grit and gratitude, became the foundation on which she built her success. Her story reminds us of something powerful. It's not just talent that changes lives. It's perseverance. It's attitude. It's the discipline to keep going when no one's watching. Because in the end, progress isn't just about moving forward. It's about moving forward with purpose. The final ingredient in this part of your journey is personal discipline and patience. There will be bumps, detours, days where nothing feels like it's working. But that's okay. Because success is not a straight road. It's a winding one. And it's discipline, not luck, that helps you stay the course. Instead of chasing an unrealistic ideal of perfection, focus on building small, consistent goals. One step at a time, one habit at a time. And remember this: you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be persistent. Every inch of progress, no matter how small, matters. Every good habit you nurture becomes a brick in the foundation of your future. And every disciplined decision you make becomes a declaration that your time and your life has value. So ask yourself, are you focusing on what truly matters? Or are you letting distractions steal what can never be returned? We'd love to hear your reflections. Leave a comment below and share your thoughts on the idea of progress over perfection. What does it mean to you? Let's now move into Principle 3, rejecting distractions. Imagine for a moment that time is gold. Not metaphorically, but literally. A limited, irreplaceable treasure slipping through your fingers every second. How would you treat it then? Marcus Aurelius, in all his timeless wisdom, reminds us, every moment wasted without purpose is a moment lost forever. Reflecting on how we spend our time forces us to pause and ask, am I investing in what truly matters? Or am I giving my attention away to things that drain, distract, and diminish me? In today's world, distractions are everywhere. Social media notifications constantly ping. Emails flood our inbox. Entertainment is available 24/7. It's easier than ever to lose hours without realizing it, and harder than ever to protect your peace. But Aurelius taught us something simple yet powerful. To live purposefully, we must become guardians of our time. When you begin to protect your time, something beautiful happens. You start attracting people who respect it too. You silently send a message to the world: my life matters, my focus matters. And perhaps more importantly, you send that message to yourself. So how do we begin rejecting distractions? The first step is clarity. Identify what pulls you away from your purpose. Is it endless scrolling, unnecessary meetings, responding to every single message immediately? These are the time thieves of modern life. They don't come with loud alarms, but they slowly rob you of your most precious asset. One powerful solution is structured boundaries. Set specific times in the day to check emails or social media. Treat your time like a sacred schedule, not something to be randomly interrupted. Just as you plan your workday, you can plan your distractions. Contain them so they don't bleed into your creative energy and focus. And here's the truth. Time management isn't about cramming every minute with activity. It's about choosing quality over quantity. It's not about being busy. It's about being intentional. But even with focus and discipline, there's still one more challenge we all face: our emotions. In the next part, we'll explore how the Stoics approached emotional mastery and how you can regain peace by learning to feel without being controlled. Earlier, we uncovered how guarding your time is an act of self-worth. But protecting your time isn't only about managing distractions. It's also about creating the mental space to do what truly matters. If you're working on something that requires deep focus, whether it's writing, learning, solving a complex problem, or creating something meaningful, there's one thing you absolutely need: mental space. Stoic philosophy teaches us that it's not just the outcome that matters. It's the process, the journey, the presence, the intention behind every action. Every single moment you dedicate to something purposeful is not just time passing. It's an investment, a brushstroke on the canvas of the life you're building. Let that sink in. Your time isn't simply ticking hours on a clock. It's the raw material of your future, and how you use it is how you create the life you dream of. One of the most powerful tools in shaping that future is the habit of time management. And like any skill, just like training a muscle, it takes practice, consistency, and patience. Start small. Commit to just 15 minutes a day. 15 minutes of uninterrupted, focused time on a task that truly aligns with your goals. It might seem insignificant at first, but like drops filling a jar, these small moments accumulate. Over time, they become a solid habit and then a powerful force in your personal growth. And while building this habit within yourself is essential, so is paying close attention to who you surround yourself with. The people around you shape your energy, your focus, your momentum. If your circle constantly interrupts your rhythm, drains your drive, or distracts you from your path, it's time to take a step back. The Stoics, including Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius, reminded us often: choose your companions wisely. Why? Because their influence either lifts you up or weighs you down. Learning to say no, gracefully but firmly, is a skill of self-preservation. It's not cruelty, it's clarity. You're not shutting people out, you're protecting your potential. And sometimes, that clarity reveals hard truths. Maybe there's a colleague who constantly belittles your efforts, or a friend whose conversations leave you mentally and emotionally drained. At some point, you have to ask, Is this relationship helping me grow or holding me back? Setting boundaries isn't easy. It may mean uncomfortable conversations or, in rare cases, even walking away. But remember this: your time, energy, and peace of mind are too valuable to waste on negativity, whether it comes from the outside or from your own thoughts. And yes, negativity doesn't always wear a face. Sometimes it lives quietly in your own mind, whispering doubts, feeding fear, or replaying past failures. When you recognize and remove these mental blocks, you open space for clarity, creativity, and confidence. This isn't just about getting more done. It's about becoming someone who lives with intention, someone who values their energy enough to protect it, someone who respects themselves deeply through action. In the end, protecting your time is one of the greatest acts of self-respect. It's not just a strategy, it's a statement. It says, I value my goals. I honor my path. I believe in my future. As Marcus Aurelius said, time is finite and sacred. And how we choose to spend it isn't just a reflection of our schedule. It's a reflection of who we are and who we're becoming. Now that we've explored how to defend your time and energy, let's take the next step. How can you turn your focus fully inward and begin building a life rooted in your deepest values and personal truth? In the next section, we'll dive into the heart of self-mastery, the power of focusing on yourself. We've seen how protecting your time and energy is a powerful act of self-respect. Now let's take that energy and channel it inward, because the most important project in your life is you. Let's explore the profound value of focusing on yourself, a practice that doesn't just bring inner peace, but uplifts every area of your life. Take a moment and ask yourself, what would your life look like if, instead of scattering your energy everywhere, you chose to pour it fully into your own growth? This is not about selfishness. It's not about shutting the world out. It's an invitation, a deep, intentional shift toward reclaiming your time, your energy, and your attention, and investing them in the person you truly want to become. At the heart of all personal development lies one powerful truth. You must set clear goals and treat the pursuit of those goals like training your body. Think of it as strength training for the soul. Imagine an athlete preparing for a championship. Each day of training may not look impressive on its own, but over time, those hours of sweat, discipline, and focus sharpen their skills, build endurance, and prepare them for challenges ahead. Your personal goals work the same way. Maybe you want to master a new skill, like programming, public speaking, or learning a new language. The key isn't talent, it's consistency. With steady effort, what once seemed impossible gradually becomes part of who you are. But here's the truth most people overlook. Before you can build something strong, you must clear away what doesn't belong. Just as a builder removes debris before laying a foundation, you too must eliminate distractions, toxic habits, and unnecessary obligations to make room for meaningful progress. Let's take Jane, for example, a driven professional juggling a demanding job and personal aspirations. Her calendar was once packed with endless social events, scattered commitments, and hours lost to mindless scrolling. But something shifted. Thank you for staying with Live Stoic Live Strong. It means you're seeking more than words. We're here for that journey with you. She started saying no to what didn't serve her. She reclaimed her evenings. She enrolled in a course and earned a certification that soon led to a major promotion. Jane's story isn't rare. It's a reminder. When you declutter your life, you create space for transformation. Another crucial part of focusing on yourself is staying curious and open to learning. A growth mindset is like sunlight to a plant. It keeps you alive, expanding, evolving. Read a book, listen to a podcast, explore new ideas, even ones that challenge you. Think of the business leader who carves out time each day to study industry trends. That habit doesn't just inform. They innovate, they adapt, they lead. But none of this growth is possible without the quiet strength behind it all: discipline. Discipline isn't harsh. It isn't punishment. It's the calm, steady hand that guides you forward, even when motivation fades. Imagine a student preparing for a final exam. Some days they're tired, some days they're uninspired. But discipline brings them back to the desk. And that steady return builds momentum. Patience is just as essential, because growth doesn't follow a straight line. There will be setbacks, delays, doubt. But don't mistake delay for defeat. Think of a gardener planting a tree. Weeks go by, then months. No visible growth above the soil. But beneath the surface, roots are forming. Quietly, powerfully, and one day, the tree rises. Your growth is like that. Unseen progress is still progress. And as you continue to evolve, remember this: the journey is the reward. Milestones may be exciting, but they are fleeting. What stays with you is the resilience you've built, the habits you've formed, and the character you've shaped along the way. Take the marathon runner. Yes, crossing the finish line is incredible, but the real achievement? The hours of training, the days they ran in the rain, the discipline it took to show up, even when it was hard. So as you move forward, remember, growth comes not just from goals, but from how you show up for yourself, day after day. In the next section, we'll explore how your mindset becomes the compass that guides you, and how aligning it with your values will transform the way you live and lead. We just explored how self-focus fuels personal growth through clarity, discipline, and consistency. Now, let's look deeper. Because to protect that growth, you must fiercely protect something even more precious: your time. You must become a vigilant guardian of your time. Because time, unlike money, energy, or even opportunities, is finite. Once spent, it never returns. Yet so often, we give it away carelessly, to distractions, to obligations we don't believe in, to tasks that leave us feeling empty. But what if you began treating time as a currency? Would you still spend it on things that add no value to your life? Would you trade it for validation, approval, or convenience? A conscious approach to time invites you to make every moment count, to invest it with intention, not scatter it without thought. The first step toward that kind of alignment is to get radically honest about your priorities. What truly matters to you? And just as important, are your daily actions reflecting those values? If health is one of your top priorities, then your calendar should include space for movement, rest, and nourishing meals. If relationships are your foundation, then undistracted, meaningful time with loved ones should be carved out, not squeezed in. These daily choices become declarations. They're not just tasks. They're signals to the universe and to yourself that you're living by design, not default. Another key to protecting your time and energy is learning the art of a powerful, often underused word: no. Saying no may feel uncomfortable at first, but it is one of the most empowering tools you have. When you decline a commitment that doesn't serve your direction, you reclaim your time, your clarity, and your focus. Imagine someone asking you to take on an extra assignment at work, one that drains your energy and pulls you away from your bigger goals. Instead of people-pleasing, you calmly, kindly say, "Thanks for thinking of me, but I'll need to pass this time." That one choice reinforces self-respect. It creates space for high-impact actions, and it reaffirms that your energy is not up for grabs. Because ultimately, boundaries are not walls. They are foundations. They don't isolate you. They protect the environment where you can thrive. Consider a freelancer who sets firm working hours. That boundary doesn't limit them, it empowers them. It boosts their productivity, protects their personal life, and helps them show up more fully in every role they play. But without boundaries, your focus becomes fragmented. Your energy is pulled in too many directions, and slowly you lose control over what matters most. In the end, focusing on yourself is one of the most priceless investments you can make. But it's not passive. It takes intentionality, courage, and discipline to choose your growth over external demands. Let the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius guide you. Your potential is not just an idea. It's a reality waiting to be shaped by action. So, what about you? How do you set boundaries to protect your peace, your progress, your purpose? Drop a comment below. Share your insights. Let's grow and learn together. Because protecting your time is more than a strategy. It's a declaration that your life has meaning. Now, as we move further on this journey of self-mastery, we arrive at a liberating realization. You don't need to be perfect to make progress. In fact, the pursuit of perfection is often the very thing that holds us back. When you shift from chasing unattainable standards to embracing step-by-step growth, you unlock something powerful: resilience. This change in mindset lifts the heavy weight of perfectionism and replaces it with the empowering rhythm of consistent effort. Ask yourself, are you exhausting yourself trying to meet impossible expectations? Or are you slowly, steadily becoming better than you were yesterday? Choosing progress means recognizing that even small, imperfect efforts create meaningful change. Brick by brick, day by day, you build something solid, something lasting. And through this process, you don't just grow. You become resilient. You become more adaptable, more capable of learning from your mistakes, more equipped to keep moving forward, even when life gets hard. Picture someone training for a marathon. They don't start by running 42 kilometers. They begin with 1 mile, then 2, then 5. They celebrate milestones, shave seconds off their time, show up even when they're tired. Each of those wins, no matter how small, becomes a deposit of confidence. Each challenge met becomes proof of strength. Through the lens of Stoic philosophy, failure isn't something to be feared. It's not shameful. It's useful. Marcus Aurelius taught us to look at life through a practical lens. When we fall short, we don't ask, why me? We ask, what can I learn from this? How can I adapt? This mindset doesn't just protect your peace, it equips you with tools to transform setbacks into stepping stones. Because the truth is, your growth doesn't happen in a straight line. But with a mindset grounded in progress, you don't need a perfect path. You just need the will to keep walking. And as you take each step forward, there's one more key to unlock lasting change: emotional mastery. In the next section, we'll explore how learning to manage your emotions the Stoic way gives you strength, not just over your time, but over your entire life. We just discovered how focusing on steady progress, rather than perfection, builds resilience. But resilience doesn't end at persistence. It also lives in how we adapt, how we respond, and how we grow from the unexpected. Resilience and adaptability go hand in hand. Life, as we all know, rarely follows a perfect plan. It throws curveballs, sudden changes, unexpected obstacles, detours you never saw coming. And when your mindset clings too tightly to control or safety, it often falters under that pressure. But here's the secret. When your focus is on progress, not perfection, you gain the flexibility to adapt, to bend without breaking, to shift without losing your center. Imagine a professional, someone who has carefully mapped out a project, every step detailed, every goal set. But then, out of nowhere, the circumstances change. Deadlines move, stakeholders shift, resources tighten. Do they give up? No. Instead of collapsing under the weight of disappointment, they pause, reflect, reassess. They adapt, not by abandoning the vision, but by finding creative new solutions. And often, the end result? Even better than the original plan. This kind of resilience isn't random. It's born from a commitment to progress. And over time, it becomes one of the most valuable tools you can carry in your career, your relationships, and your personal growth. Another pillar of true resilience through self-focus is your ability to embrace feedback. Yes, feedback. That thing so many fear, but which, if seen correctly, can be one of the greatest accelerators of your growth. Instead of treating it as personal criticism, what if you saw feedback as a compass, a way to navigate towards your potential? Picture a writer sharing their manuscript with a trusted mentor. The mentor points out weak areas, gaps in structure, stylistic inconsistencies. Is the writer crushed? No. They listen. They reflect. They revise. And the story becomes stronger than before. This openness to feedback doesn't just sharpen your skills. It develops your humility, your willingness to improve, and your capacity to grow beyond your current limits. A progress-driven mindset welcomes imperfection as an essential ingredient in the recipe of success. Too often, the fear of making mistakes paralyzes creativity. It's that fear that whispers, "Don't try, don't risk, don't fail." But growth cannot coexist with fear. Marcus Aurelius, ever the wise Stoic, gave us this powerful reminder. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. This means, when obstacles arise, they're not roadblocks, they're guideposts. Every challenge is a teacher. Every mistake is material for mastery. To build anything meaningful, whether a career, a skill, a relationship, you need time, you need effort, you need patience. That's what resilience through self-focus really means. It means showing up, again and again. Not for the applause, but for the process. Think of the gardener. They plant seeds in the soil. They water. They nurture. For weeks, they see nothing. But they trust what's happening beneath the surface, because they know growth takes root in silence before it blossoms in sight. That same quiet trust is what self-focus gives you. It helps you fall in love with the journey, not just the destination. And in doing so, it redefines what success means. Success is no longer an unreachable standard. It's the fulfillment found in effort, in presence, in the harmony between your actions and your values. And over time, this mindset becomes your strength. It becomes the anchor that holds you steady when life gets chaotic. It equips you to handle setbacks, not with panic, but with poise, with purpose. So remember, resilience through self-focus is more than a technique. It's a way of being. By committing to progress over perfection, you learn to adapt. You embrace mistakes. You develop the patience to nurture what matters. And you grow into someone who doesn't just chase meaning, but lives it. The Stoics remind us, the strength you're seeking, it's already within you. And when you choose to turn inward, you unlock the calm, clarity, and power to live with purpose. Now, as we prepare to close this journey, let's turn to one final insight, a moment of reflection that will help you rise above the noise, reconnect with your values, and carry this transformation into everything you do. After exploring the power of resilience through self-focus, we now arrive at a deeper question. In a world filled with noise and expectations, how do we stay true to what truly matters? Picture this: a crowded room buzzing with voices. Everyone's speaking, talking about success, chasing fame, throwing around big goals. The air feels thick with ambition and ego. But in the quiet corner of that room sits one person. They say nothing. Their gaze is calm, but deep, like they're asking themselves something far more important than anything being said aloud. Is what I'm doing truly meaningful to me? Or am I simply trying to impress the world? That moment, that quiet reflection, is the heart of what Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor of Rome, taught us. He wasn't just a ruler of a vast empire. He was a man who understood that the most powerful victories are the ones won within. His wisdom reminds us, when you stop wasting time chasing what's out of your control, you begin to see clearly that focusing on yourself isn't just a lifestyle choice, it's a way of honoring your life. Each day, you are faced with hundreds of choices. They may feel small: how you respond to a problem, how you speak to someone, how you spend the next hour. But every one of those moments is a decision. And each decision is a brick in the foundation of the person you are becoming. Marcus Aurelius once wrote in Meditations, "Our life is what our thoughts make it." That simple truth holds so much weight. It's not just about controlling your reactions. It's about shaping your life, moment by moment, through inner clarity and self-respect. When you focus on what matters to you, your growth, your peace, your purpose, you stop simply existing. You start living with intention. Pursuing your dreams isn't about noise or recognition. It's a quiet, unwavering declaration. I matter. My path matters, and I choose to honor it. But to stay on that path, you need more than motivation. You need a mindset rooted in your values, not in the shifting opinions of others. Think of a marathon runner, not the one chasing the spotlight, but the one running to challenge himself. He doesn't care who's ahead. He doesn't compare. He focuses on his breath, his stride, his rhythm. And with each step, he isn't racing others. He's discovering his own strength. In the end, when he crosses that finish line, what he feels isn't pride in being first. It's something deeper, a quiet sense of fulfillment. Because he stayed true, because he didn't quit, because he showed up for himself. To focus on your own journey, you must have the courage to walk through difficulty, judgment, failure, distractions that whisper, "Just give up." But every hardship is a lesson. Every challenge is a step forward. Imagine climbing a steep mountain. Your hands are scraped, your legs ache, but each painful step brings you closer to the peak. And when you reach the top, it's not just the view that's rewarding. It's who you became on the way up. Marcus Aurelius captured it best. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. This is more than philosophy. It's a guide for living. When you respect your path, you don't just build confidence. You liberate yourself from the exhausting race to compete or be seen. It's not about isolation. It's about self-definition. You set the pace. You decide the direction. You stop chasing someone else's dream and start honoring your own. Aurelius taught us not to seek applause from the crowd, but to ask ourselves a much deeper question. Am I living in alignment with my values? Because at the end of the day, life is a series of choices, a reflection of priorities. And when your priorities are guided by your inner truth, the noise of comparison fades away. Let me tell you a story. There was a gardener. He spent his life tending a single tree. Day in and day out, he watered it, protected it, nurtured it. While others talked, judged, even mocked, he didn't care. He didn't answer the noise. He focused only on his tree. Years passed, and one day the tree bloomed. It bore fruits so rich, so beautiful, that even the skeptics stopped and admired. But the gardener? He wasn't surprised, because for him, the reward was never the praise. It was in the process. The quiet, steady love for something he believed in. As we approach the end of this journey, take a moment to reflect. What is your tree? What are you nurturing with your time, your energy, your quiet discipline? In the final part, we'll gather everything we've learned, and I'll leave you with one last powerful reminder to help. You carry this wisdom forward in your everyday life. Previously, we reflected on the image of the gardener, the one who nurtures his path quietly with patience and purpose. His reward isn't in applause, but in the quiet beauty of his commitment. And just like him, your journey is deeply personal. The true meaning of your journey doesn't lie in how many people admire you. It's not measured by how loudly others applaud your progress. It lives in the small, sacred moments, the daily discipline, the quiet care, the choice to keep going even when no one sees. Because your journey is yours. And like any meaningful path, there will be days when your legs feel heavy, when your spirit feels tired, when doubt creeps in like fog, whispering, "Am I still going the right way?" But in those moments, pause. Take a breath. And remember, every step counts, even the small ones, especially the small ones. Progress isn't always loud. Sometimes it's as soft as showing up again. Sometimes it's choosing kindness over anger, or silence over drama, or doing the hard thing when quitting seems easier. And when you're patient with yourself, genuinely patient, you begin to understand something powerful. Patience is proof of your strength. It means you trust the process. It means you believe in what you're building, even if the world doesn't see it yet. So don't rush. Don't measure yourself by someone else's pace. Be patient on your journey. Don't waste your limited, precious energy chasing things beyond your control. Trust that the right choices you make today, the mindful ones, the ones rooted in values, will lead you to a deeper, more fulfilling life tomorrow. Through this journey, we've uncovered something more than tips or techniques. We've rediscovered the power of focusing on yourself, of pulling your energy away from distractions, comparisons, and chaos, and turning it inward. This lesson, drawn from the timeless wisdom of Marcus Aurelius and the philosophy of the Stoics, is simple yet profound. When you stop wasting time, when you stop looking outward for validation, when you start showing up for yourself with clarity and discipline, you don't just become successful. You become whole. You become the author of a life filled with meaning, a life that honors your values, a life that reflects your truth. So, wherever you are on your path today, whether at the beginning, somewhere in the middle, or walking through a difficult stretch, remember this: you are not behind. You are becoming. And every step, every moment of focus, every decision to choose what matters is building something beautiful. Thank you for walking this journey with me. And as you go forward, carry this truth with you. You don't need to chase more to live fully. You just need to live intentionally. Thank you for your time. If one idea touched you today, come back next time. It may reach deeper. Share this with someone who needs a quiet moment. See you in the next video.